Okay, good afternoon. It's Caroline Stevens, Seeking the Truth, and we're in the year 2021. We've been subjected to a media overload in the UK of Harry and Meghan. So the fact that Oprah Winfrey has been interviewing them, we know already from last week's show with Eric Von Essex that basically Oprah is connected through the Good Club with Bill Gates and Rockefeller and all those other people that we hear lots about on social media. So there has to be a reason why it's using this distraction tactics now. Okay, so we've got lots of things happening in the UK, and I'm going to start with a case or a story, if you like, from the paper of last Saturday. So this is the paper from last Saturday, and I've typed it all out. This came from the Mail on Saturday. The reason why I bought it was because I'd heard there was a bit more of a story to do with you know what, and they had a socialite in there saying that she would not have it, and she said that Bill Gates was planning to the population. So there was another interesting article, and this is what I posted on my timeline earlier on. Travellers face being fined £200 if they arrive at an airport without a new form under a clampdown on illegal travel. So from yesterday, people travelling internationally from England will need to complete and carry a declaration to travel document downloaded from the government's website. The 3-page form asks the traveller to set out their reason for needing to go abroad during the travel ban. It warns that they face fines or even arrest if they give false or misleading information. The fine is initially set at £200, but repeat offenders could be charged up to a maximum of £6,400. Foreign leisure travel is banned until May the 17th at the earliest, but essential travel is still permitted for a range of business, education and compassionate reasons. The form states that people can go abroad for work, volunteering, education, medical reasons, compassionate grounds, or for weddings, funerals and related events. They have to sign under the following declaration. I certify that the information I have provided is true. I understand that if I provide false or this misleading information, I may be issued with a fixed penalty notice and or a direction to return home or be arrested. Airlines will also be legally obliged to set out on their website that the form must be completed before travelling. It's interesting, isn't it, that the government always asks us not to provide false or misleading information. Do they ever sign those sort of declarations themselves? No, they don't. So it says airlines will be legally obliged to set out on their website that the form must be completed before travelling. They will be checking the forms before passenger boarding, either at check-in, online or at the check-in desk or at the departure gate. A Department for Transport spokesman said that on those who failed to produce the form, either on paper or on their phone, face being barred entry to their flight. She said officers would also be conducting spot checks and have the power to ask travellers to produce a completed form. So this is nothing to do with vaccinations, okay? This is a form that we have to now complete to leave, well, they say in this paper, England. We have to fill in a declaration. We're having to ask permission off the government for us to leave our country. So, this Department for Transport spokesman said they will be conducting spot checks and have the power to ask travellers to produce a completed form. She added it will be an offence to fail to produce a completed form and individuals could face a £200 fine. The department added that police have been stepping up their presence at ports and airports in recent weeks to ensure passengers are complying with domestic lockdown rules. It's a shame that the police and our border guards don't stop people trying to come in when the people here want to get out. So what's that about? Doesn't it sound a little bit suspicious? I mean, we've had this lockdown since the end of December, beginning of January, depending on where you live in the country. And they've suddenly produced a form when we're supposed to be coming out of lockdown in the next couple of months. Doesn't that sound a little bit suspicious? Why now? Passengers who are identified by police as attempting to travel internationally for reasons that are not currently permitted will be asked to return home and risk a fixed penalty notice for breaking stay-at-home rules. But Henry Smith, the Tory MP for Crawley, whose constituency contains Gatwick Airport, said, "I don't see a purpose of such a document, and it will even further dissuade people from travelling." Isn't that the case, Henry? But, you know, you obviously have to say your bit because Gatwick Airport is in your constituency. I think if people need to travel for essential reasons, then charging £200 for not carrying documents isn't very appropriate. I also think it's concerning we have a government looking, which he is part of, a government looking to introduce travel permits, something I think is quite alien to the British way of doing things. So the declaration form can be downloaded from the gov.uk website. So this form does not appear to have anything immediately to do with any jabs. Okay, this is for anybody leaving the country whilst we're not supposed to. We have to ask permission. And of course, May the 17th is only a temporary date. It's a movable feast, as we all know. I mean, did we think that we were still going to be in lockdown now? Well, some of us, like myself, did. I'd suggested it would be Easter of this year, not next year. And we haven't got to Easter yet. But did you think that you were going to have to get your begging bowl out now if you have to go abroad, that you actually have to ask permission to leave? And we don't know when this. Why do it now when it's supposed to be only, 2 months to go when the lockdown will be lifted for travelling? So it says Portugal and Spanish islands have followed Cyprus in welcoming British holidaymakers from the middle of May. The Spanish government says it hopes to allow British tourists to visit the Canary and Balearic Islands from May, as long as they have a negative test. Portugal's tourism minister hoped the country would soon allow restriction-free travel for either vaxxed people or those who test negative. But that's all very well and good because a lot of people had just been vaxxed simply to go travelling again. And there is no guarantee that they're going to be able to leave the country. So that was my sort of short news flash. I hadn't seen it mentioned anywhere else really on social media, and I think I needed to clarify what was going on. So that is one thing. So that started yesterday on the same day as the opera interview. But there's been a lot more things happening, shall we say, in the UK, which I will cover later. That's been happening. But I am going to come back in about 5 or 10 minutes. So if you will bear with me, share this video, please. And this is about the travel ban, effectively, not being able to leave the UK without an appropriate form and being fined a minimum of £200. And we don't know when we'll be able to travel again. So don't be booking that foreign holiday anytime soon. So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to now look at the Tavistock Institute. So please do share this, and I'll see you again in 10 minutes. Goodbye for now.